the Fresno Focus Radio Hour. This is the No Focus Radio Hour. Comedy and insight from the greatest minds in Fresno. A Lightomine Media production. That's right. This is the No Focus Radio Hour, the #1 independent podcast in the Central Valley. Thank you for listening, and thank you for telling a friend. The No Focus Radio Hour is available anywhere podcasts can be found, including your home smart speakers and Rumble. We're on Rumble now. Check us out there. Remember to subscribe and leave a review. It helps others discover our show. And while you are reviewing, keep in mind that 5 stars is the correct number of stars. If you enjoy our show, please share it with your friends. But if you hate it, share it with your enemies. Check out our site, nofocusradio.com, for exclusive content. You can vote on Don's polls. Find us on social media. Our handle is @NoFocusRadio. You can also find the rest of our shows at lightominemedia.com.
To be with you, you know it's true. And I know just what I got to do. Gonna hit the ground running, running to my favorite podcast. Gonna hit the ground running to Fresno, California.
Woo-hoo! Nice.
Wow.
We sounded better than ever because we had a special guest joining us. As always, we have our beautiful cast of characters. We have with us Eric the Door. Oh, wait a second. Time out, guys.
Time out.
I forgot. This has been a while. This is the No Focus Radio Hour, the
There you
#1
go.
independent podcast in the Central Valley. It's made for those who live in the Central Valley, for those who miss the Central Valley, those who long to live in the Central Valley, and for those who
are still searching for the Fresno Nightcrawler in the Central Valley.
Oh, the walking pants.
As always, we have our beautiful cast of characters with us. We have with us Eric the Doorman.
Hey, I don't want to start the show off on a bad note, but I got to say that it is a dark day in the Doorman's house. Today, we lost a member of the family. Last night, one of our tropical fish is no longer with us. So
was it Jeffrey?
No,
He was my favorite.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, it was not Jeffrey. But if I could just ask for a moment of silence.
Did you eat him?
No, we weren't that hungry. Not yet. No, the recession hasn't got to us.
How old was your fish?
You know, he was probably about 4, maybe 5 years old. I can't.
Wow, that's
these
a
things,
long time.
Yeah, these fish. I don't know why. I just take care of them so well. They tropical fish. They live forever.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get rid of them, to be honest.
Yeah.
But they just keep living.
They're a lot of work, huh?
No, but then I feel bad. Now there's only like one there and doesn't have a friend. So now I got to go get another one.
So that's Jeffrey.
Right?
Jeffrey still lives.
So I thought if we could just have a little moment of silence, maybe sing a little song.
Under the Sea?
How do I say goodbye to... Okay, anyway, moving on.
That's really good.
Thank you.
Sounds really good.
And we also have...
We have with us Marty Pidasso.
Hey, it's great to be here. You know what I saw in the Central Valley, in Fresno, in fact, which really blew my mind? An American bald eagle.
In Fresno?
In Fresno.
Wait,
Wow.
It was down by the San Joaquin River.
No way.
Yeah, because they had this Spano Park, and I was there flying drones, and we were wrapping it up. All of a sudden, out of nowhere comes this American bald eagle just zooming by. It was impressive.
Did you get photos of it with your drone?
I did not, because we were packing up.
No, he actually hit it, and it's no longer.
Some really good photos of an osprey.
Oh.
But I did not get the American bald eagle, but it was impressive.
Are you sure this thing was American? Are you sure this wasn't another China spy balloon?
Make America Great Again hat on.
Yeah.
On its little bald head. Yeah.
I was surprised, though, because didn't we find out most of the American bald eagles were being killed by wind
turbines.
farms? Yeah, wind turbines.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they were still.
Yeah, but there's none down there. So
you saw one of the last few.
Well, that's funny because I just hear the environmentalists after hearing this are going to actually start putting up windmills.
Yeah,
immediately.
Let's really
put them up
those eagles,
immediately.
man.
We found one eagle left.
really hate those Eagles. We have with us, we are missing, so Don Schlicks, everybody, we're sad to say he's back in rehab.
MIA, he's MIA.
Yeah, he's back in rehab.
He's working hard at it, though.
So he's, we'll see when he comes out again.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Was he working on that pole again?
He's working on that pole. He heard it while hand tearing his sausage.
There you go.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, he got a job at, what was the pizza place that hand tears their sausage?
I don't know. Little Caesars? No.
There's an ad. Remember, it said we hand tear our sausage. I thought.
I know. I remember it, but I can't remember the place.
A pizza factory. At Pizza Factory, we tear our sausage.
It's like you should.
It's weird. So anyways, he's gone, but it's all right. We've replaced him with somebody better. We have with us friend of the show, Jason Damm.
Hey, it's good to be here.
Yeah, man, it's good to have you.
Very exciting. Listener, first time guest.
I love it.
Wow. You really listen to us?
I have been, for about 4 months.
Yeah, 4 or 5 months. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, probably a little bit longer, actually.
It's a good show. It's a good show.
Then we better hurry up so we can listen to this episode.
Right.
I think he's the only one listening.
So this is actually, I have a couple good, solid Jason Damm stories that we'll bring up.
All right.
But more recently, we have had on our show a debate about corn on the cob.
Oh, yeah.
I've explained that the only good way to eat it is to shave it off the cob because you get all the corn. It doesn't get stuck in your teeth. Everybody on this show made fun of me. And then I went to Jason Damm's house, and you know what he did? His whole family shaved it off the cob. That's right.
So much better.
So much better.
I'm going to start calling that the corny cob method.
It's so much better.
No corn in your teeth. You get all the gratification, as much corn you want to shove in your mouth at once.
No, there's something eating it right off the cob, though. Man.
It is. You can make that.
It's natural. It's almost as natural going barefoot.
Gavin Newsom eats it off the cob. I don't know. He's the only one I know of.
Because when you go to get the corn in the cob that they make at the fair, they don't give you the corn in the cob a little plate and a knife. They just give you the corn on the cob on a stick.
And a stick, yeah. So what do you guys do then? You have to ask for a knife. And
I don't buy fair food. I actually don't go to the fair.
Oh,
I avoid the fair entirely.
Do you really just avoid it completely?
I don't like it.
I only go if I can get in free.
Me too.
That's what I'm doing.
I don't think I've been in.
But we do have a tradition when we have a new person on the show. We got to come up with a name for them.
No, we don't have to do that.
Oh, we don't.
No, that's never really
happened.
happened.
I was gonna say. No, we did.
Your other show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to come up with a name.
Seems like he's got a name.
You have a name picked out?
No, I don't yet. I don't. I seriously don't. But I decided it'd be cool. He's got to come up with a name.
And maybe behind the board, just in case you guys didn't remember, my name is
what is your name again?
It's Max the Boss, but my closest friends call me Johnny Knobs.
Well, yeah, and
that's right.
You know, it's funny. When I was when we were having the funeral for the fish last night, the pastor that came over to do the eulogy and all that stuff.
Before you flushed it down the toilet.
Before we flushed it down the toilet, he said, I got a question to ask you. He's whispering in my ear. He goes, you know that show you guys do, and that guy Johnny Knobs, how did he get his name?
Yeah.
Did you have to touch tongues?
And I said, you know what? And I said, I after I went,
they had to suck his
and
tongue.
after I flushed it, I said, I don't know. I'll ask him next time.
Yeah. So this is actually pretty cool.
Okay.
I wrote in to a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And he sent me a recording of himself telling us how Johnny Knobs got his name.
Really? Ooh, I'm
That's
interested.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't sound. He had a colt. It doesn't sound exactly like himself.
Yeah.
But see if you can check this out.
You gonna press play?
I got. Yeah, I got to warm up before I press play.
You gotta press play.
Okay, folks, listen up. I have a tremendous story about this. Sounds terrible. It was better before. I have a tremendous story about this guy, Johnny Knobs. He's a great guy, tremendous guy, and everybody knows him. So Johnny Knobs, he got his name because he's got the biggest hands you've ever seen. I mean, these hands are huge. And when he was a little boy, his mama would say to him, Johnny, you got some big knobs on them hands. And that's how he got his name, Johnny Knobs. And let me tell you, he's still got those big knobs on his hands today. And he's a winner, folks, just like me.
Wow.
That's what he sent in.
Was that the end of the message?
That was in the message.
Trump has like teeny hands.
I think I'm going to vote for that guy.
He forgot the part, though, where Johnny Knobs controls the volume. That's a best Donald Trump impression.
Yeah.
That was actually pretty good.
I have to work on it.
Was that really an impression? I thought that was real.
That was real. I meant.
Yeah.
Memorex.
Yeah. It was real Chat GPT.
Real Chat GPT. We got a lot of good stuff here, but before we kick in, let's jump into this. Jason Damm, I knew Jason since we were wee little lads.
Very wee.
Yeah, very wee. And then this gap of time happened where we grew up and we just kind of forgot about each other or something. I
It
don't
was
know.
the intermission.
But we didn't.
Now, did you guys live close to each other, like next door neighbors type thing, or
No, we
just
went to
school?
school and church together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like high school happened, and then I ended up going to a different church, and then we just kind of didn't really see each other too much for years. But a couple of months ago, maybe 6 months ago or something like that.
Sounds right.
Okay.
I was at House of Juju, which we've talked about on the show. Friends of the show, Justin owns House of Juju, and we were over there. And my wife noticed, I'm bad when I see people. I'm pretty famous for like noticing somebody that I think I know, and I just avoid at all costs just because
You don't want to say the wrong name.
I don't want to say the wrong name. I just don't want to do the whole like, hi, I think I know you. Where are you from? So I'm just like, I'm going to leave. So I noticed this one person, and I was like, I'm just going to ignore them completely. Even though we like made eye contact and it was awkward. So we were leaving,
contact
and,
from
and
across
my
the
wife
House of
says, you know what?
Juju.
I made eye contact with this person over there. I think I know them. And I was like, Bree, no, because I did too. Let's keep on going.
No.
Move.
Yeah. Run.
So she turned around. I was like, crap. So we went back.
It's always the wives.
I know. And so she was like, hey, I think I know you. Turns out we both know them very well. Bree knows, I don't remember her name, doesn't matter. But she, long story short, she was somebody that I went to church with at some point in my life. And she worked at a friend of mine's like print shop. And then she was sitting with somebody else, which happened to be Jason Damm's wife. I didn't know Jason's wife, but she was like, I'm married to this guy, Jason. And I was like, oh, Jason, you said Jason Damm. So I just, at that moment, messaged Jason. And I said, hey, I bumped into your wife, or I'm having dinner with your wife or something stupid. And he writes back very quickly, like on the spot, hey, that's, something funny. We like laughed. And he said, why don't you come over and have dinner? And I was like, that would be great. Then he was like, how about like this weekend? And I was like, oh my gosh, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
So we reconnected again. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, cool.
I mean, Max, you were a great friend of mine, and then like for whatever reason, life happened, and hadn't seen you for years. So I was like, dude, Max is texting me.
It was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been fun. So we've reconnected, and it's been awesome. So
That's good. Yeah. Most of the people, I reconnect with them. Like, I don't want to really see them.
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
that's always
how you do it? You
that is a
message,
little
right?
bit of a
hey, let's get together, and then you're like, yeah,
No.
That's always a little bit of a fear, right? You don't know. Like I could have shown up and met a complete weirdo, and Jason could have been like, I don't know, who knows? I could have shown up and he'd been like, welcome to our dungeon, or something crazy.
Ready to play Dungeons.
Yeah.
Let's go to the basement.
You forgot your outfit. But no.
Nintendo,
Instead,
like
I
we used
walked
to.
in and he was
Boy.
like, fuck my tongue. And I was like, oh, it's the Dalai Lama. Oh, my God. So, no, but it was great. And so that's where we are. But Jason, also, he is a published author of a book called Hudson's Quest to Neptune, which we'll go over.
Right.
Him and his family also own a company called Big Bore Drilling, which does large bore drilling. Big bore drilling is what it says.
Okay, well, can you explain? Like, what is that?
Yeah, well, we do drill for foundational footings, but primarily, actually, we do septic systems. Is oddly enough our main business, and drilling is a part of septic systems. In Madeira, they use seepage pits to get rid of the water, and that's standard for all Madeira systems. Fresno has seepage pits too in some areas, but also utilizes leach lines more so than Madeira. But yeah, there's drilling is also involved with the septic, but we do drilling for foundational footings for cell towers, billboards.
That's huge. Those are huge holes.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
When you're talking big bore drilling,
Big
I mean, you're
bore.
talking these things are like going
big bore.
down.
Yeah, so we can go down 75 feet, and we can go up to 12-foot diameter. Technically, we've never drilled that large, but a normal hole for us is probably 4-foot diameter, 30 feet deep. That'd be regular. In Madeira, we go 3 by 50 all the time. So that's typical size.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. And you guys don't do any wells or anything. You're just strictly
Right. Yeah. No, it's
strictly
it's
for
the opposite. Wells are for pumping the water out. We put the water back in through septic systems and area drains too. We do a lot of area drains for public schools.
Now, do you work with any ag or anything too doing this, or not so much? Or
Sometimes, yeah, we also do hydrojetting, which is like clearing out pipelines with high pressure water. And a lot of dairies need that because they spray all their all the cow poop,
all the good
and it
stuff.
goes down the pipes, and they always get plugged up. So we do a lot of dairies doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's a
So if you go to their
wow.
website, bigboredrilling.com, you can see the size of these.
We're
things.
looking at it right now. Yeah.
These are massive.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Stuff you got to know what you're doing, otherwise
Right.
you're going to get killed.
You're gonna kill yourself.
And this is
or
like a
kill
family
somebody.
business. You guys have done this.
Yeah,
like
my parents bought it with my grandparents back when I was 1 year old. And
Wow.
so I've been around it my whole life and started helping out when I was about 15. And so kind of just grew up in the business. And
I mean, and it looks like, it'd be hard work, man. It looks like,
yeah, it's definitely hard.
Yeah, did you ever, because of hard pan and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We were trying to drill a small hole in our backyard to put a post in. We hit hard pan, and we just called it a day.
Yeah, you just went and got a beer and said, forget it.
Exactly. Filled it
Yeah,
in.
that
just said we
that
don't need
picture
it.
of leach lines right there is in Clovis. That's some super hard pan that we're digging through.
So leach lines
Wow.
is where the water from the septic, the gray water, goes out into the lawn or wherever and just
it
disperses.
goes back into the ground.
Yeah.
And the soil actually has microbes that filter and clean it. So
that's
within a
cool,
few
yeah.
feet, it's relatively.
Because a
it's
friend of mine
green,
has some
right?
property, and I noticed this green patch in the middle of it. I go, why is this so green? He goes, well, the leach line goes out
Well,
there.
that's bad. If you have water up at the surface, that means it's not working right. So
Really?
I got to call him.
He's on his phone.
You're
He's on his
like,
phone
oh
right
my
now.
God.
Get out of the house. Get out of the house.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it would
funny.
seem like they would hook up stuff like that for. It'd be hard to retrofit all these homes now, but it just seemed like they would do stuff like that. It'd be more environmentally friendly than what a lot of the stuff they do. Let's get the water back in the environment that way.
I'm
the gray
sure
water.
it would be, right?
Reclaim it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
reclaim it exactly instead of just putting it all. I don't even know what they do with it. For.
Probably wash it right into the delta, then straight into the ocean. I'm assuming. No, I think in Clovis, a lot
All
of
the
stuff
water
goes
goes
to that
into the
big
delta,
water.
And they redo
Leaky
it or
acres.
do something,
What was
right?
that?
It's called Leaky Acres right there off of 168.
Yeah, 168,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And we've drilled some holes down in the bottom of that to help it go down to the ground.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's supposed to recharge, and that stuff is supposed to go down and recharge.
Yeah,
and
that's
all
the
that.
one way to
Okay.
do it, yeah.
Now, do you guys do any? I've seen those big machines where they're like pounding like the big poles in the ground.
No, that's
you guys
people do a lot
don't.
of pounding.
You guys don't do any of that. You're just drilling, strictly drilling. Okay.
Drillers, not pounders.
Well, they can do both. I don't know.
I think you
I'm learning here. I'm learning.
Yeah. So you call them for a good drilling.
What's the most? What
Suck
would
my
be the
tongue.
most interesting or funny, or maybe the one story that sticks out in your mind working here that you could tell us? That would be maybe the craziest or the silliest or
And most interesting job.
Have you ever
Yeah,
drilled down into
interesting
fossil
job.
beds like that?
Oh yeah, have you run across any bones or anything?
No, but we were drilling in an area where we had to have a Native American observer there the entire time watching. I mean, we're drilling, past the first 5, 10, I'll give it 10 feet,
Sure.
Yeah.
You're not going to find anything down 20, 30 feet deep, but we were drilling a cell tower off the 168. It looks like a tree.
Oh,
As
yeah.
you're headed up to Shaver, it's on the right-hand side.
Okay.
And yeah, so we had to have a Native American observer there just in case we found arrowheads or whatever.
Right.
He had to be there the whole time. And it's like, okay, look,
He's
we're
like
30 feet deep.
You're not going to see anything.
Was that a known area for this particular tribe or?
I guess so.
I wonder what's been travel lane, right?
It's travel
Something
line.
like that.
They say,
Yeah.
hey, we got this guy. We'll get this guy a job.
How deep do you drill for a cell tower? How deep?
It just depends on how tall the tower is going to be.
Really?
Yeah. We did a eagle perch in Wood Lake one time.
Okay.
That was 100 feet tall. The tower is 100 feet tall.
Is that
I
where
think
the
we
bald
did-
eagle lived that I saw?
Yeah.
Possibly.
in Wood Lake, yeah.
So how far was that? If it's 100 feet tall, are you drilling, I don't know, 60 feet deep, 50 feet?
Well, that was many years ago. I don't
Okay,
recall,
but
yeah.
is it roughly? Would you say
Probably, yeah,
something like
about-
that?
yeah.
Wow, that's always.
Is
And you
there-
don't think about something that tall going that deep as
Well,
well.
is there a formula for that? Like, if it is 100 feet, do you have, is the formula okay? It's 100 feet, then we have to go so far deep.
There is, but anything like that is going to be engineered, so I don't have to calculate that.
Oh, okay.
They
You're just like- they
send
just
me
tell
the
you,
plans,
hey,
and they say
yeah,
you need a
drill
hole
it.
that's going to be 60 feet deep, 4-foot diameter. I say okay.
Now, like I know with like archaeology and stuff, they say that because we're talking about you running across things like bones and stuff, but they say that there's only so many feet, right, where humans interact, right, and then after that, it's just like dead layers, right?
Right.
What is that? Is there a certain amount? Like, is there like
I mean,
20 feet, 30 feet?
yeah. The only thing we've ever found around here is like like old glass bottles,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
can be pretty cool. Like
Yeah,
out in like Kerman area, people used to bury their trash a lot, and there's a lot of old farms out there, and that was kind of typical. So actually, when my wife and I were getting married, we wanted to have all these old vintage bottles all over the tables with flowers out of them.
Oh, yeah.
And I had found a few, and I said, here's some, and let's find some more at Clovis Vintage Days and stuff like that, you know. But in the months leading up to our wedding, I found more bottles than I've ever
No
found.
way.
Yeah, it was crazy. I kept finding these jackpots of bottles, and it was awesome.
Interesting.
Probably 80% of the bottles we used were ones that I found.
Wow.
I found hundreds.
Really?
What's the name of this eBay store with all these bottles?
I still have them, and many people have borrowed them for their weddings.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's
Bunch of
crazy.
bottles.
Oh, it is pretty cool to find those. I know my dad's property, his ranch. They would do that back in the days, right before our family bought it. They the families would just bury their trash. So yeah, we'd be out there digging stuff. You just find old cans and bottles. And cans are mostly gone, but the bottles and all that stuff. It's pretty fun.
Yeah,
It's pretty
some
cool.
of them are pretty unique. You know, they're different colors and weird shapes, and some of them have imprinted labels on them.
Yeah.
That's in the glass itself.
And you can tell they need a cork to go in, and they don't have a screw
Yeah.
cap or anything like that. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so aside from big bore drilling, you were also an artist and a author.
Yeah.
Tell us about this. So I have this in my hand. Hudson's Quest to Neptune. It's this nice,
And you
it's like
kind
a
of
soft printed. It's called
matte,
soft
yeah,
touch
it's a
matte.
matte, yeah.
well, and you kind of threw it at us. It's like you didn't even prep us on this. They're like, hey, by the way, I got these books, and it was
It
like,
says
whoa.
it's really nice. It says Hudson's Quest to Neptune, written and
Who's
illustrated
Hudson?
by Jason
Hudson's
Damm.
my son.
That's what
Or my
Oh,
son.
nice.
Yeah, he's 6, and he was at the time very obsessed with planets and especially Neptune, super into space. And
Because in the beginning, you talk about how he knew all the planets at a really young age.
Yeah.
Like, I learned all the planets. He was 4.
yep,
You
by the time he was 4, he knew all the planets.
Oh, wow.
He knew them in order. He knew the dwarf planets, and he still does. But yeah, he's a little, kids get burnt out on stuff. But,
Yeah.
But
Also,
at the
that's
time,
the age where they forget a lot of things because young kids know things, then later on they just forget
Right.
them. Or they
He's on to what, calcalating physics now
he
and
really likes
multi
math,
dimensions
actually.
and stuff.
He gets so excited when he gets math homework. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
Just today, he was like, math facts.
Really?
Yes! Yeah.
That's so funny.
But yeah, so I had always kind of wanted to draw, or to illustrate a book, and
Yeah.
that the idea just came to my mind. And I was like, oh, it would be so fun to draw that for him, and he would just really love it because he could see a story of himself
cool.
doing something so neat.
What
And
did
yeah,
you
it's
use
about
to
him.
do your illustrations?
I used my iPad actually.
Oh, that's cool.
Adobe Fresco on my iPad, and I did them all there. And yeah, it's the stories about him building a spaceship and flying to Neptune, his favorite planet.
Because I noticed that he's made it out of like a washing machine.
Right. Yeah.
And out in front of the studio across the street, there was a bunch of washing machines.
And refrigerators.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
should get that and make our own.
We could build like a super spaceship out of that.
We could all go because we can make it so huge because they have
Yeah.
a ton of washing machines and stuff out there.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
this is
he-
cute. Your whole family, that's awesome. And it actually is your kitchen.
But also,
I know that
it's
kitchen.
cool because he goes to like all the planets and then he starts talking about, well, not all the planets, but because you can't go to the
Right.
ones towards the sun.
Right.
But he goes to like Mars and on, and he talk about very detailed things like the asteroid belt.
Yeah, there's a lot of
And the Olympus Mons
information
and
in there
stuff.
that he was interested in all that specific information at the time.
Oh, wow.
Olympus Mons and all the information that's in the book is stuff that he was interested in specifically. How cold each planet was, how many moons they had, how many rings they have, all that stuff.
Yeah, because it's a kid's book, but it's something if an adult reads it, they could learn stuff
Yeah.
too.
They could
Like,
read,
for
or they could
instance,
read to their
the
child.
The Great Red Spot and stuff
the
like that.
winds on Neptune are supersonic.
Are they
Really?
Wow.
Do they break the sound barrier?
Jeez.
It's crazy.
Oh, that is nuts.
So this is a cool
Oh,
book.
they even
so,
talk about comets too.
so if you have a child, you want to read them a great little. It's like a nice read, maybe a 10-minute read, a little bit.
Well-
if you look at all the pictures and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is what I like about it is you've incorporated actual pictures of the planets
Yeah, the pictures are
with
really
your
good. You did a good
illustrations,
job.
So I
which
drew
is
those
actually
planets. I drew those.
which is very cool. You drew
did a
those
great
planets?
I drew all of them. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, those look like photographs.
Yeah, no,
man.
they're incredible.
I
But
spent a
one
long
thing I
time-
like about it is some children's books have really clunky language, and you go, "Oh my god!"
Did you draw these ones
But
too?
this is written really well. You did a great job
just
writing
shrunk them
this.
down. Those are the ones I drew big.
Yeah, and then you
I
just made
shrunk them down.
They're really cool.
Wow.
I like all your instrumentation inside the washing machine.
Yeah, I love that too.
So he
Wow.
finds a chunk of Neptunium, plugs it into the homemade spaceship that he builds,
Yeah.
and it transforms into
legit spaceship. Yeah, because it looks like a rocket ship here when further on in the book. So it's like,
There's
okay,
a
yeah. I was wondering what happened
transformation
there.
page,
Yeah.
I've been mesmerized by reading all the detail in all of these.
Right.
Like that's a lot. You have to spend a lot. You're going.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining
It took
going.
me about
okay,
a year and a half. It was the first, obviously
Yeah.
the first book I ever wrote, and
Wow.
it took a long time, but.
I mean, did you have to look up, like you said, we didn't really get a chance to look through it. Did you have to, is there a lot of information you had to look up?
Oh,
and
yeah.
do all this
I
and,
wanted to make sure everything was right. I didn't want to, feed kids
Yeah.
false
So that,
information.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Mom, did you know Pluto's only 5 miles from Earth?
so that year and a half is the illustrations
Easter
with
Bunny
all the
lives there.
looking up and all that. And
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
the looking up is like 5 minutes of Googling, but
Oh,
also my son was watching planet videos all the time at that point.
You're like,
so-
hey, son, come here. I need.
Right, you're absorbing it all. Yeah, like, hey, son, but like, this is a great question. He says, like, the next thing he saw were rings, and more rings. And there they were, the beautiful rings of Saturn, the second largest gas giant in the solar system. So even this lines like that, it sticks in your head, and now it's the second largest gas giant in the solar system.
Yeah.
Like, all right. That's really cool.
Now, is your son getting a cut of the proceeds here since he was your
not
expert
a lot,
on the
not
planets?
a whole lot of proceeds. I had an advertisement campaign running for a little bit, but it was definitely not it was not a moneymaker.
Yeah.
Just because it's really hard to gain traction.
Oh, man,
it's,
it's like
a,
a-
it's a
hey,
self-published
now that
book,
you're on
so.
this show, you know how it's gonna go.
never know,
People are
man.
gonna recognize you
I did
everywhere.
get lots of sales, but not as much as it was paying for the advertisement. So I was like, nah.
That's always
Yeah.
the trick. Right? Yeah.
So where can they get it if they want it?
It's
if
on
people out there
Amazon.
want it?
Yeah, Amazon Hudson's Quest for Neptune.
Yeah, there's
it'll pop up right away.
a link right in the show notes as well. So if you go to
Perfect.
the show notes, guys, there will be a link under Jason's link.
Is that how much you're selling it for? Wait, go back there.
It's $6.99.
Oh, that's
Wow, what
I
a
know.
steal!
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, you
I
should
make like
probably.
You gotta
30
wait.
cents.
You should charge more.
No,
for
we
that.
better cut this out of the show. It was $12.99.
Yeah, you're right. How much? Let's redo that. How much do you charge for that book?
$27.50.
$27.50. What a steal!
For easy payments.
Oh my gosh!
I like how Hudson comes home after making it all the way to
love
Neptune and says, "Mom, I made it to Neptune." Mom says, "That's good. Go wash your hands for dinner."
You what? You have a perfect 5-star reviews as well.
Yes.
That's really good.
Thank you.
No, that's it. Oh, you got. And
Yeah,
there
little
are some pictures
example of the art.
on the website on the Amazon site that people can actually see, so they get an idea, taste of
Very
the book
cool.
there. Yeah.
It's very nice.
So show notes, check them out. You got links to Big Boar as well as to Hudson's Quest to Neptune. So check. Also, is it available? Can you choose if you want to be available on Kindle
You
Unlimited?
can get it on Kindle, yeah.
And then how does that work if it's Kindle Unlimited? They just when they read it, you get paid or something like that.
I don't 100% know
how that works.
Because I don't do Kindle stuff. But
He's not in it for the money. He's in it for the glory.
I think I set it up so that people who have Kindle Unlimited can read it for free.
Read it for free. You probably
pretty
get
sure that's how it
cuts
is.
of it. So also, I just want to say, I think, dude, what a cool thing because your son, when he's 30 something, he's gonna look back and see this and my
Read it
gosh,
to his kids.
what a cool legacy
Yeah.
to have left for your child. I mean,
That is
I'm
very
jealous.
cool.
I'm now going, man,
I want to do a
now
book.
I have to write a book.
I want to write a book about my dead fish.
I don't have any way to write a book. I'm not
See, the
that
stuff
clever.
I leave for my grandkids, they'll ask their parents what was wrong with me.
Right.
So what was wrong with Grandpa that he made
The
these things?
problem with me is I'd be writing a book and it'd be about like fart jokes or something. I mean, this kid's
Yeah.
writing a book about planets. This is awesome.
It's really good. I'll have
pretty awesome.
Chat GPT write me a book, and it will be like, and he's a winner, folks.
It's gonna be huge.
It's gonna be huge, just like Johnny's hands.
Very cool,
Goodness.
man.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we are going to take a 30-second quick break. 30 seconds for us, no time for you guys. We're going to be right back, and we'll come back with a lot of good news. We've got a lot of good stuff coming up. We're talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger apologizing. We have, I know, big stuff. We have this man in Clovis who just, keeps on getting let out of jail. A lot of good stuff coming up. Marty sending drugs to people in prison.
Ooh, nice.
Lots of
I
good
wanna
stuff.
hear about this.
We'll be right back.
New
after
business
a
opportunity.
word from our sponsors.
We have sponsors.
Hey, everybody, this is Max. I'm just here telling you about a book you should pick up. It's called Hudson's Quest to Neptune. You can get it on Amazon by Jason Damm. That's D-A-M-M. Just search for Hudson's Quest to Neptune. You can also go to nofocusradio.com. Check out this episode. And in the show notes, there will be a link to the book. So check it out. Thank you very much to our sponsor, Jason Damm and Hudson's Quest.
Hey, one more question before we leave this topic. How many kids do you have? If you don't mind me asking. Four kids. Yeah, 4. So you wrote this about your son, your oldest son. Now the pressure is on, my friend.
I'm working.
You got 3 more books to make.
I have a book. I have the storyline written for my daughter.
Okay.
And working on the first page, just trying to get the style that I want.
Yeah.
Because it's once you choose the style, it's got to be consistent through the book. So
yeah,
just trying to make sure I do it how I want.
So do you feel the pressure though? You're like, man, I got to come up with 4. I got to come up with 3 more books.
Because she's very young, but
yeah,
I want to do it, and it's just going to be something fun for me, So.
Yeah. Well, hey, for all the folks out there, they need to hurry up and get this so they can. This will be the first one, the first volume in the collector series, right? And then you'll have 3 more coming too. So
I got to come back from the ad.
Oh. Is that official?
All right, now we're back.
I want to write a book. It's called Connor Pops the Blackhead That's Been on His Nose for a Month. It's about my 14-year-old son who has a blackhead that's been living on his nose for a little over a month.
That is cool. Is he trying to get it big?
No, I don't know. We're all trying to pop it. We cannot get it off of him.
When I was a kid, I used to think that, if you didn't pop a blackhead, right, is that thing just going to keep growing and growing? I wanted to get
into
the biggest
a whole
one.
other face?
Yeah, get it like in the Guinness World Book of Records, right?
God, disgusting.
Yeah. Maybe he's doing that.
What's the longest part of writing the book? The illustrations or the writing?
The illustrations.
Gotta
for sure.
be, right?
That and laying it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you want to get, you need to have it start on the specific page you want it to start on. Then you have to have it planned out, so some pages are two-page spreads, and then if you turn a page, it has to make sense with the storyline. Like my book ends on a specific page where you turn the page and it's kind of a joke, or you see that that Hudson's mom realized that he actually went to space.
Sure.
So
and you don't want to ruin that. Right. You have to. Interesting.
Yeah, you just kind of ruined the whole ending for everyone. I didn't want to do that.
Well, yeah, you got to have in a story. You got to have a beginning, middle, and end, right? So you have a problem, you have the reaction to it, and the solution. So yeah.
Problem is he just has a washing machine and
he can't get to space. But then I don't know. Does he find the Neptunium or
it lands in the pool?
Oh, yeah, see back here in the illustration, it has the thing landing in the pool. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Look at that big splash
there it is.
Splash, man.
There it is.
Amazing. And he sees it. And he's 4 years old. I don't know if he could swim. How does it get out?
That part is
plot
not
holes.
explained.
We're finding plot holes.
Man, I find plot holes in all these things.
I think he probably used the pool net. That's what I would.
That's a good point.
You got to leave something up to the imagination of the reader there, Stu. Come on now. You can't give it all away.
I'm horrible.
All right, now we're moving into our next segment called Eric Reads the Local News.
Woo-hoo! Yeah.
All right, the Doorman.
All right,
give us some headlines.
Are you ready for this headline?
Here we go.
California man arrested 10 times in 31 days, drove to police station in stolen car to pick up his property, say the cops.
That was nicely done.
Thank you.
Very nice. It says here, can you guys hear me? I feel like my microphone's
No, I got you. You're loud and clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, loud and clear? All right. Well, I can't hear myself, but that's okay. Fresno man Keith Chastain is accused of 18 felonies and 15 misdemeanors between February 19th
and Tuesday.
This
is the greatest.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, that's some good writing.
That's pretty solid. You guys keep on talking. My headphones died.
They have a picture of this guy, and they have multiple pictures. So is this like a daily shot of like every time that he got busted, right?
Every time he's arrested, I guess it just taking mug shots.
This is crazy. And
one he has a Band-Aid on his head.
Yeah. He's got 2 pictures. He's got a Band-Aid. Yeah. Then it looks like he healed up pretty quick. I don't know what he used. Maybe some Neosporin or something on that.
And his beard's getting
He actually looks like he's getting younger as the photographs go on.
Well, the middle one looks like he's on some drugs.
Yeah, yeah. And then maybe he got off him for a day or two because he's looking a little better.
He's looking a little better.
Yeah.
Sobered up.
I can't believe this happened in Clovis.
Fresno, yeah. Fresno,
This
man.
this is crazy, though. But they said he went to Clovis, though, right?
He's accused. He's not guilty of anything yet.
No, yeah, it's all, yeah.
But they
allegedly.
just keep picking him up. I think
It's
they
allegedly.
just target the guy with the poor beard because he had that Band-Aid on his head.
Yeah, maybe.
That's why I
I
don't
don't
wear
know.
Band-Aids. I just bleed.
We're still waiting for the headphone.
I still can't hear myself.
Really? You sound really good from
Do I?
our end. Yeah,
All
you
right.
sound good.
All right, I'm going to pretend like I have headphones on then. We'll just do
All
it
right.
later.
Okay, everyone imagine Johnny Knobs with headphones on.
Oh my gosh, I can't. It's so weird not having my headphones in. All right, so yeah, it says here that a California man who racked up almost 36 charges.
At one point, he shaved off his beard.
Those have to be the newer pictures on the bottom. Maybe that's what we're
'cause he
going.
looks
And the
younger.
older
I
ones, he
see.
looks pretty beat up,
Yeah,
I
he
think.
does.
Okay,
He
we
took-
were looking at him backwards.
What happened is he has Benjamin Button disease, I think.
Benjamin Button.
So yeah, it says the law enforcement is, quote, very familiar with Keith Chastain, Clovis police said in a statement. 38 years old also. He looks rough for 38.
Yeah.
He looks...
I
poor
thought he was
guy.
maybe 42 and a half.
But I think what's funny to me is that he was arrested when he drove to the police station in a stolen truck to pick up his property.
Yeah. From when he was arrested earlier.
Jeez.
So,
yeah.
yeah, between mid-February and this week.
18 felonies, 15 misdemeanors,
Well,
6 stolen cars,
yeah.
DUI, drugs, and vandalism and fraud.
He doesn't understand the idea of car ownership.
I guess my problem here with this is like, why even put him in jail if you're just going to let him go right
You
away?
just ceremoniously execute him, I guess.
I guess. I'm not really sure. But, like, I don't know. I guess, I don't know why I'm afraid of getting in trouble ever. If I know
Yeah.
I can just, apparently nothing
Well,
happens
remember,
to
we've
me.
talked about that. It's the whole catch and release thing they do now. They don't
Right.
even put people in jail. They can't. They don't even have room locally because all the state prisons are putting people in the local prisons, and then
true.
the local prisons don't have any room for anybody.
So
So,
is he out now, or is he?
He's out now. Is what? No, I think now he's arrested.
that was it. The last straw.
Well, look,
After
it
the
says that his rap
the
sheet.
18th, and you're done.
Yeah.
It says that his rap sheet goes back further. Oh, my headphones are working again. February 2022, he was accused of domestic violence and separately of fleeing police. Those were just dismissed. Also in 2005, he pleaded no contest. He's free now. He's just back in court Friday morning, so we'll see if he shows up.
Well, I think this is to that. You heard about that new law, right? 18 strikes and you're out.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's what happened.
Well, it's
It was
not
on the-
18. It's 18 felonies and 15
Oh.
misdemeanors.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
yeah, it's like over 30, then
You're
we'll
out for
start
15
thinking
more.
about it.
Well, maybe it's only 18 felonies and you're out. Maybe that's
I
what
don't
it is.
know. That's just kind of sketchy to me, man. I just doesn't really make you feel like Clovis is really doing their job.
It doesn't make you feel safe, period.
It doesn't
Don't
make
say
me feel like
anything about
my
the Clovis
tax dollars
police.
are really going to do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Keep criminals. in
But you
prison.
know what? The politicians can claim that the crime in Fresno is down.
That's right.
Because they're not having to put anybody away.
That's a good point.
'Cause they let 'em go.
Speaking of crime being down in Fresno, we have another. This is called Marty reads the headlines.
Hey! So 4 were indicted after drugs delivered by drones into Fresno County Prison. Another local thing.
story.
So they're using drones to deliver drugs and contraband into prisons across California.
Yeah.
Officials with the U.S. Department of Justice announced this on Thursday.
My question is, why wouldn't you?
It's easy. It really is.
Yeah. Don't you have a drone?
I have several.
Here's a serious question though.
Yes.
This picture,
Yes.
does this look like a
That's
real?
not.
This
The
is
drone-
Photoshop.
The drone could not lift that
That's
big,
that's an
gigantic thing of
actual.
cocaine.
This is clearly a Photoshop
No,
picture.
Because
That's
that's
actual.
easily a couple of kilos of cocaine.
But
from
here's my
experience.
problem.
And
Look at the frickin'.
no, it would be small packages, small little bits.
But read the caption. The caption says, "The drone flew across the sky with smuggling. The drone transports forbidden goods across the border, breaking the law. Delivery of drugs to the wall with barbed wire."
Did
What is that
Chinese
from?
people write that?
I'm thinking this is just created by AI,
Written
right?
by Read
GPT,
Less.
yeah.
This is 100%.
Yeah.
They went into an AI and said, make me a drone carrying drugs across, and then they let it write the caption.
Yeah,
By
100%.
It makes no sense.
The drone flew across.
The sky smuggling.
Delivery of drugs through the wall with barbed wire. The drone transports
It
forbidden
would be
goods.
super simple to do.
And I
'Cause
love
there's
how.
no way of stopping
Here's the other
drone.
thing. I love how it's the drone's fault. They
The
don't say
drone.
about who's flying the drone.
The
No,
drone
it's the
transports.
drone. It's the drone with the drugs.
Because you could fly a drone up to several miles away, depending on the drone, and it's just be a small package, and you could trigger a device that just drops it. So you could maintain a height of about 100 to 200 feet, drop it into the yard.
Yeah, but you're saying that, like it would be little small, like little balloons or little small
Yeah,
packages.
small packages.
Would
What
be-
do you?
Not a brick like that.
Yeah, not a
massive.
huge.
What do you guys think they're going to stay in prison for longer? They've been indicted with the following charges. Charge related to firearm possession and racketeering,
Okay.
possessing with intent to distribute heroin and marijuana,
Okay.
attempting to serve as an airman without an airman's certificate,
That's probably the one. Yeah.
and then conspiracy to own and operate an unregistered drone.
That's probably the one.
That's probably the one that's going to keep him in prison, right?
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
They don't
drone-
care
the
about
drone
anything else.
charge.
It's
The
the
drone
drone
is
charge.
unregistered.
These men, you conspired. to
I can't wait
own
for
and
the
operate a
I can't wait for
drone.
the movie to come out. Cocaine drone, like cocaine bear. the drone gets some of the cocaine and it goes crazy.
Starts dropping it off in the schoolyard.
They were dropping off these four people flew drones from concealed positions into the fields surrounding prisons of the following
Wow.
prisons: the Substance Abuse Treatment Facility and State Prison in Corcoran, the Salinas Valley State Prison, the High Desert State Prison, Pleasant Valley State Prison, California State Prison Sacramento, and California State Prison Corcoran.
How did they get caught? Because you have to be pretty lame to get caught.
That's a good point.
Well,
It
you have to be
doesn't say.
semi-close to the drone. You can't be like
You can be
miles
like
away.
You can. You could be
You
a
can't be
mile to
miles.
2 miles
Yeah,
away.
you can be a while. You can be
Depending on how high you are. Because if you can get a good radio signal to it. Because I've flown mine like a mile and a half
You know,
out.
they probably scanned the barcode on the drone and tracked it back to Amazon and saw who ordered it.
It's actually probably you're probably right. They're probably shutting down the drone.
Yeah.
Wow. They smuggled into prison methamphetamine, heroin, cocaine, marijuana, cell phone accessories, butane oil, and other
Condoms.
various items.
Here's my suggestion for people that want to do this. I'm not giving people ideas, but remember we had a Chinese spy balloon that was flying around for weeks and nobody could shoot it down. So my suggestion would be maybe try a balloon next time, not a drone.
It's true.
You
It would
know,
automatically
just have it circle
drop
the
out.
Princeton
Yeah,
and
every
nobody
so
will
often.
touch it, right?
That's a pretty interesting story. I don't know.
60
It's a lot
years to
of
life in
stuff
prison.
going on
Jeez.
here.
Yeah.
Jeez. What else here? That's some other local news stories.
Some other wonderful news.
Here we go. This is called Jason Reads the Headlines.
California's $300 million for first-time home buyers already gone. Who got the money?
Ooh, who got the money?
It wasn't me.
Who did?
I'll just sum it up here. It was called California lawmakers marketed its new loan program for first-time homebuyers as a, quote, dream for all. But 11 days after applications opened, and we already went through all $300 million.
Wow.
It turns out the dream was only for a few lucky couple thousand borrowers. That's more than a few. Lucky couple thousand borrowers. A disproportionate amount of them were white. Oh, those evil whites. Oh. Golly,
Dun, dun,
those
dun.
evil white people living in the Sacramento area. Ugh, gross.
Those Sacramento people.
Yeah, so that's it. It's
So it was some. What was it? Some equity.
It was supposed to be,
Yeah.
It says the program was meant to help California's ethnic and racial wealth gap. It was meant to help with Black and Latino families. However, it says 2/3 of it went to evil
So it said
white
the-
Evil.
Yeah.
evil white people in
How did
Sacramento.
they get it?
Well, it says
Right? They just applied,
it
apparently.
says participation. In, yeah, because everybody's poor. That's
That's
what
the
they
problem.
don't. Yes,
'Cause that's
doesn't
the
matter
issue.
what your color is.
Yeah,
We're all
participation.
poor.
You had to make less than $125,000 a year. Wait, I'm sorry. You had to make $125,000 a year to get
Who makes
a bunch
that?
of money.
I mean, seriously, in California, that's not the.
interesting.
What's the average medium in California? Probably what,
take
60
a-
grand?
Actually, you know who will tell me?
Chat GPT.
Chat GPT. Let's look it up.
But I'll tell you in a funny way.
What is the average salary?
Income.
average-
Household income.
Household income
In California.
In California.
Not including Hollywood or Silicon Valley.
The average household income. Oh, that's true. You're including some of the, but averaged is $89,000.
Oh, I was close. I was
pretty
60
good,
grand.
yeah.
I think 60 is a more realistic figure, though. I think 89.
Yeah.
You're probably talking.
Well,
that's including.
They're talking both spouses.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Household.
Oh,
Household
you're right.
includes both.
Yeah. True.
Oh, you're
true.
right. Yeah.
So this program says went to making less than 125. Yeah, everybody's going to qualify for this.
Yeah. Median wage in California is $53,000.
Okay.
It's more. It's
All right. Yeah,
sounds
there you
about
go.
like
So
it.
in the middle. Yeah. So 125. Here's the other thing too. Why is it just the Sacramento area? I mean, are they the only ones that knew about this program?
I don't know, but I just have an issue. First of all, I have an issue with doing anything based on skin color. So,
But how was it? If it was based on skin color, I mean, not all these white people got it. How did they?
well, that's the problem. I think they said it's for black and Latino families. So one is a skin color, and then the other one is people from Latin descent, which I thought was interesting. They didn't say black and brown. They didn't say African American and Latino. It's people with black skin, and then anybody who has Latin descendants. But you know,
So you can walk in there with a sombrero.
I have a
and
feeling
poncho.
though, is that because there's a lot more maybe white people who were buying homes in the first place at this point, maybe in that area, or they knew about it. But anyway, it's
Well, it's funny, but it's just in that area too, though. See, I mean, there's something fishy about this.
I think it's just very classic. That's another $300 million of our tax dollars that are just.
Why don't they do
Gone
this?
to
Why don't
waste.
they just give us all a tax break? How about that?
Wouldn't that be that would solve everything?
Just take the taxes away.
Just stop
so that
taxing
we can
us.
have more money in our pockets to actually do things.
Gavin's
ourselves.
going to be running for president. He needs money inside of his
Instead, they just
campaign.
added a new gas tax, right?
Yeah.
gas
That's what they're doing
tax.
instead.
No.
And Max, you were talking about the percentage of each dollar you get to keep, right?
Oh, right.
On a previous show.
Yep.
And you were saying by the time you're dead, it's probably in the like 34% or something
Yep.
like that. And to me, I mean, this year was for me the worst amount of taxes I've ever got.
Yep.
And
yeah.
part of that has to do with the healthcare deal with the cover
Yep.
California and all that. In my calculation, I'm keeping about 74% of every dollar that I make, and that's just based on my payments. But when you take into account all the sales tax and the gas tax and all the
Exactly.
other hidden fees, is bringing it down even farther.
Right.
So in
Your
reality,
car registration,
right.
your
I
property
got a
tax,
good
your
one
reality.
for
your
that.
kids. So you're
on
only
your day to
keeping like
day, you're
3.
probably 50%,
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yep, you're working.
Well,
your
and
ass
it's
off
taxes
for-
upon taxes. Like they want to come in. I know you got the gas tax store here, but they also want to come in and put a mileage tax. They keep pushing this mileage tax for vehicles because they can't get it off the EVs, right? You're not paying the gas tax when you have an EV. And then my point is that does that mean they're going to get rid of the gas taxes when the miles per driving your mile they tax you per that? No, they're going to leave it on there.
to it.
They're just going to add to it, right? So the gas people that have gas
Was
cars.
it on the show that I told you I met with that guy who worked for PG&E and did the 70? He did like how long it would take.
Yeah.
He said it would take 70 years.
$29 trillion.
Yeah, 70 years and $29 trillion to get to where they think we should be by 2030.
Wow.
Like, he's like, it's just
for the
impossible.
It's not going to
Yeah,
happen.
just for the infrastructure.
Well, let me ask you guys this. You
Like,
spoke.
time out here.
So that's something that hit home. You said vehicle fees. Okay, so I bought a car last year, and this year I get the tags, or I get the thing for the tags, and they want for this vehicle they want $550, and it floored me. I have never in my life paid that much money, paid registration fees that much. Did the taxes go up recently for DMV in California, or has that just always been that? And I've had a cheaper car, I guess.
Both. It's having the car, and then I'm sure the tax went up higher.
Because they say that they charge you 65%
Right.
of the vehicle's value.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So don't buy a new car, folks. I'm floored.
Yeah, that's what happened to me when
I'm
I had my truck, and all of a sudden it was like $400 and some odd dollars. I was like, "What? This is
Wow.
insane!" 'cause I
They
didn't
go
ever
by
had
the
cheap-
value, like in Kelly Blue Book or something.
Yeah, so they do the value, but depreciate it. So I mean, it's only a year old now, so it's still practically new.
So
but they're going
over
65.
time it goes down.
So they're going over time it goes down, but they're going 65% of what the value. So whatever the value, like you're saying, the blue book, the depreciated value for how old it is. But It floored me. Anyway,
Crazy.
Yeah.
the gas tax. They just passed this.
So this is what's funny. Newsom just did a big speech. He called for legislation to pass this bill last December. Gas tax throughout the Golden State, which are already the highest in the nation, thanks to in part to our 54 cents gas tax, at a record high of average of
54
$6.44
cents a gallon?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Newsom, of course, blamed it on oil companies. We'll get into this next episode when we do a whole thing about why we hate Gavin Newsom. And he said he's going to do this, pass this bill to protect the state from future price spikes. What this proposal does, it creates a new committee within the California Energy Commission. We've talked about committees on this show.
Yeah.
And this committee will now monitor petroleum market daily. The committee will also gather private information and data from refiners and have subpoena power to compel other data or records to be revealed.
So basically, they can look into anything in companies, in these gas companies.
Right. So what do you know? Newsom says they're signing the bill as soon as Tuesday. He spoke to the media and applauded it for approving his proposal. When you take on big oil, they usually roll you, he said. That's exactly what they've been doing for consumers for years and years and years. Meanwhile,
but if you go ahead.
They said the bill does actually nothing to lower the price of gas. In fact, it may do the opposite and increase prices
of course.
by exacerbating existing supply problems. The result of this short-sighted legislation will be energy market disruptions, higher costs, and energy shortages. And you know who said that, by the way? You know who voted against it?
Who?
So they're saying, "Oh, this is all for this is all for like the Latinos and the non-whites in California." You know who voted against this?
Jim Costa.
Yasmit Baines, Juan Alanis, Heath Flora, Vince Fong, a whole bunch of people. And Jim Patterson.
Well,
but I mean, it's like this whole thing. It's like Gavin Newsom's like, we're doing it to save the non-whites, the people of color, the BIPOCs. And I'm going, well, they all don't want it, man. They all said it's going to hurt them.
Exactly. Well, and this ties into the other story we had where they did the...
Shut up, we're trying to save you.
Yeah, they did the analysis as far as, what's the reason that gas prices are so high. And they really found that it's not the gouging that's doing it. It's not the evil companies that's doing it. It's actually the restrictions that California has to refine the gas. Plus, they won't let them do any oil drilling. Plus, they let them have limited refineries in the state.
We have to refine elsewhere and bring it in.
Plus, the state doesn't have the backups of oil to take it when it is short, when there is lean times. Plus, they have to transport all that specialized refined gas to California. These are the reasons the prices are so high. It goes all the way back to the government. It has nothing to do with these gouging evil companies,
Right.
So
California is one of the largest consumers of petroleum products in the U.S., but it has limited domestic production of crude oil or natural gas in California. As a result, California relies heavily on imports from other states and countries to meet its demands.
Yep.
Thus, over 70% of our gasoline is imported from other states.
And then not only that, but there was that story. Who did you say that? Jasmine Baines.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I don't mean to cut you off. But think about it. They're like, gas is bad. It's so bad for the environment. So instead of just producing it here, we're going to drive trucks and coal trains and just waste more energy.
How much carbon footprint bigger?
It's the same thing nationally.
Yes, everywhere.
They want to shut down the amount of production we're doing here nationwide and import it from Saudi Arabia.
Somewhere else.
Makes no sense.
Well, let's talk about it. Instead of building a pipeline that they could ship it around the United States, what did they do? What did they?
Bad.
Yeah. Pipes are evil.
because what's his face owns all the trains, and they want to use him to ship it. What's his name?
And that's working out well.
Yeah, what's that guy's name? I can't think of
Kerry.
his name. No, not Kerry. Kerry's one of them. The other one, the
Hines, right? Wasn't it the John Kerry?
Yeah, the guy who I think he had the newspapers. He also Berkshire Hathaway. He owns
Hathaway guys.
Yeah, who's that? Berkshire Hathaway. That's what's his face. Oh my gosh, come on, what's that? I can't think of the guy's name.
He also owns See's Candy. I tell you that much. Warren Buffett.
Thank you.
See's Candy.
Okay, I was just going to say real quick, there's another story. We can get into it later. But the Jasmine Baines, she actually got kicked off a committee because of the way she voted on this.
Did she really?
Says, that's what that story was that I had. But, So,
Let's
yeah.
look at let's bring up. We can kick another story out while we're here.
Yeah.
So she voted against it.
Let's see. Yeah, pull it up. Where is it? We had it. We had her on there a second ago.
First of all, I had to move some stories around here. I have the pooping story, so that's coming up.
That's very important stuff. This is bigger than the gas taxes, folks.
So that's really saying that there's going to be 54 cents a gallon added.
We're at 54 cents a gallon.
Right
this
now.
is going to increase our taxes.
So what this is, they put a committee together, and what they do is they're going to look daily at these prices, and if any of these companies they feel are gouging, then they tax that company more. Then they can also look into their records and dig deeper, and there's going to be fines and penalties.
So what's
will
going to
drive
happen?
the prices up?
Yeah,
Exactly.
So
it's
the
going to drive
companies-
all the prices up.
Because the government wants to be the only one gouging us.
Yeah.
That's one way of saying it. Gouging is a nice way of saying it.
I like to be gouged.
She defied Newsom on oil. Oh, wait, time out.
Ding, ding, ding. We taking a break?
No, we got to read the headlines.
Yes, Johnny Knobs is going to read the headlines today, folks.
She defied Newsom on oil. Now Bakersfield Damm is stripped of committee seat, standing alone against Governor Gavin Newsom's highly prioritized oil tax is coming at a cost for a Freshman Valley lawmaker.
Dun, dun, dun.
Stripped of
By
her seat.
Reed Stone,
March
30th, 2023. A 2-minute read. All right, so go for it, Eric. Tell us what
I was
happened.
going to say, you're starting to read stuff like Biden does. He's like, okay, sit down.
Comma, sit
walk
down.
To my left. Walk
The
to my
Sun,
left.
support quality news.
So anyway, apparently, yeah. So she's actually a doctor, and she turned lawmaker. She was informed that she would be losing a key committee post, courtesy of the Assembly Speaker there.
Wow.
What's his name? Anthony Rendon. And I guess it's because after the last year's gas prices, what does it say here? And then Newsom wanted to pass the bill. Where does it talk about her there?
Oh, it's Kern County. I see. She represents Kern
Yeah,
County.
she represents Kern County. Yeah,
Which
correct.
is like the only place in our state that's still
So she
drills
represents
oil.
the largest oil-producing region in the state, if that's even left at this point.
They have exactly one oil pump in that region. It's the largest.
Yeah. So it says the committee will have. So what is? She was against. I'm sorry. You scrolled.
Here it is.
back
I'm
up.
sorry. Here we go. Here we go.
The bill came together. I can't find it. Anyway, so this says that she got kicked off this.
It says she got in a letter saying she was informed by the Speaker's
Oh, here we
office
go,
that
yeah.
she will no longer be serving on the Assembly Business and Professions Committee.
Because she's not supporting the narrative.
Yeah.
Right. Even though she
Essentially, yeah.
said that she represents that area and she is the one fighting to lower gas prices for a stronger Kern County. Out of anybody, she's the one I would trust. She's actually going, look, I'm in charge of this area where we produce gas. We want this to be better.
Educated.
Well, here's the thing that cracks me up, is that we're always talking, oh, we want to hear all voices. It's all inclusive, all this, all that, But then
You don't agree with me. Sit down and shut up.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so sick of this one-party system. I'm just done with it, and I'm not, and all over the country, I'm done with it.
And I don't know who Dana. It says Dana Williams, which is Newsom's chief of staff, just was such acted like a dick. She wrote to this person Baines on Twitter. On Twitter, wrote, "Alone and confused, you shall likely remain." After they booted her from the committee.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're making. So she stands up
hold
for
my
her
words.
constituents. That's the problem, isn't it? Nobody's standing up for constituents anymore.
What a bad
She,
word.
like you said, she went against the narrative, and then she gets treated like this. Disgusting. This is disgusting.
Just sit down and
Seems
shut up.
I think that's racist.
Yeah, it is
Racist,
right?
sexist.
Oh
I
no,
say
no!
we go
It's
kick some
because if
ass.
one party does it, it's not.
Right.
You can be in the one party and get away with that.
God, I still get those Zillow notifications if anybody wants to.
Are we going to do that again? Texas real estate part 2 coming
Did you guys
at
listen
you.
to that episode where it was just like 40 minutes of me and Eric looking at
We're just looking at real estate in Texas,
Texas
yeah.
real estate on the podcast? So funny.
Was dirt
I'm
cheap
just
or
gonna-
what?
It's the best place, yeah. I'm
Grab
like,
myself
I need
a
to
washing
move there.
machine.
I told you guys about that, right? I had my aunt and uncle moved from. They sold their house in Georgia, and they have a lot of family and stuff here. They grew up here, and they're like, you know what? Let's go back to California. They're all retired and everything. Let's go back to California. We miss our family. We love the the mountains and the beach and all that. They literally got here within a month. They were looking for a house. Within a month, they said, "See you," and they took off.
Peace.
Yeah, they're back in Florida now. So. They said, forget it. They go, this isn't the California that we left, years ago. It's completely changed.
Not for the weak.
Yeah.
Florida's great though.
I've been there once. I flew into Miami and then flew out, but
Yeah, I've been there. It's
Yeah.
horrible.
Hey, have you been there?
I haven't lived there. I've vacationed there, and I liked it a lot.
Where in Florida?
It was Marcos Island.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Is that the one that got hit by the hurricane? Or
yeah, it's down towards the tip.
Towards the tip. Nice. What time of year was it?
It was October.
Yeah, I went in August. Don't ever do that.
So I've spent time, quite a bit of time in the Orlando area and Jacksonville, both of which the weather is the worst. Yeah. It's just humid and muggy, and it's raining. Yep. And
were you there for Disneyland, Disney World?
Never been to Disney World. There for business trips.
Gotcha.
So I've been there for like weeks at a time, just doing like shows, and it's just, I just can't.
The worst weather, right?
Out of that
it's the humidity is
it's
what
just
gets
humidity,
people, right?
and it's like it will just be a downpour for an hour, and then hot, and then a downpour, and then hot.
An oppressive humidity where you're just going, oh my God.
Yeah. Now I'm sure places like Miami, there's a reason Miami is Miami, or like the islands, I'm sure, or like the Florida Keys.
Yeah, well, if you're near the ocean, then you get a little bit of.
Then it's nice, yeah. Then you also it's really that center of Florida. What happens is I'm not the smartest about this, but the guy explained it to me is because of the way it's shaped and the way it is. It just creates its own weather systems right in the center. There. So it's always just terrible, just like raining and humidity and pressure. Whereas like on the outskirts of that, it's apparently beautiful.
Now, would you? Well, I mean, I don't know. Let's just say if you had to move into that area, would you do it for the lower taxes?
Would you move to the tip?
Not for the taxes. I wouldn't do it for the taxes.
Would you do it for the money?
I wouldn't do it for the money. I would do it for.
Should we look on Zillow?
I'd do it for like freedom. I would do it for freedom.
For freedom. Well,
I would
that's
do it for
freedom,
that.
right? Taxes.
Yeah,
that's kind of freedom.
I would be willing to move into a swamp if like my family came with me, and I could.
You guys could live free,
and I could.
You could hunt gator.
And I could not have to worry about my child growing up in this hellhole that is California.
It's funny because when we started this, when we started talking about leaving California type stuff, Max was, you're like dead set, man. You're like, no, never, no, I never do it. Now you're shifting.
I had a kid. That's why it changed my perspective. I started
going,
going, what happens when she grows up for 20 years in this environment and learns God knows what? Like I grew up in a world where you could have conversations with people, where you could have disagreements, where you could. It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't exist. And it's like, and if you have views that somebody like I have, for the most part, you're unless you're like me and you're willing to just take the shit for it. Like I'm willing to speak up. I don't really care if anybody likes me or not. Like I'm hoping to raise her up like that, but it also doesn't, it's not easy.
It's a lonely life.
It's not guaranteed.
It's not guaranteed. And also, and if she is like that, I mean, just let's be honest. It's not. You're going to have less friends as a woman who speaks up.
It's going to be a tough life for her.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Is that why you identify as a man?
But as far as California goes, Fresno and Clovis is a relatively
it's a sheltered area from it.
Sheltered, yeah. I mean,
well, let me ask you this, Jason. So you're obviously have your own business as well as Max here. I mean, how's the business climate for you still right now? And is there a part, or is there a point when you'd be like, hey, we'd have to move this somewhere else type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, right now we're doing fine. We're doing great.
Yeah.
Last year was our best year ever. That's awesome. Randomly.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, lots of taxes, obviously.
Yeah. What about regulations and stuff for what you do? Not so much.
Basically we just have to pull permits. And it's gonna be the same anywhere. But it's not too bad. It's really not.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I think it's when you start doing for us, because we're national and international and we're shipping across state lines, and so we have so many. Yeah. If you're a local, because you're Central Valley, right?
Yeah, right.
I think you can kind of be sheltered within the Central Valley. Mm-hmm. You're not going and dealing with all the regulations from all the other cities.
Yeah, you're not digging holes and sending them to China.
Right.
So.
Right. Hey, you heard the music.
Already?
It's all right. How fast?
Wow.
Not fast. We didn't get to all of our stuff, but guess what, guys? We have some good stories coming up on the next show. We'll be talking about texting and driving.
Driving and pooping.
Driving and pooping.
But not all at the same time.
No.
Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong.
We'll be doing. Actually, that's probably should that be the name of the show? Probably.
What, next one?
No, this show, Driving and Pooping.
Well, no, we're not. There's no driving and pooping
But
in
you
the show.
said it on the show.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's true. I guess we just have to
Nice
say the
job.
line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to name the next show Driving and Pooping.
Well,
We can do a
say it
part
again.
2.
Driving and Pooping Part 2.
Too late now.
Our special guest, Jason Damm. Yeah, we're going to be talking about, we got a lot. We got to be talking about driving and pooping. Shaver Lake Brewfest, July 8th. I got some fun.
I want to hear about these
entertainment
balloons,
picks.
these tube balloons.
Tubes of balloons.
I want to hear about this.
We got some news about Arnold Schwarzenegger, and we're going to talk about all the things we dislike about Gavin Newsom. Also, I'm really, and this is where I get really serious, guys.
Uh-oh.
Really
Music came
serious.
down.
Serious voice.
We're going to need you right this second to rate us. Just give us 5 stars. Just do it. There is no other rating. And share it with a friend. But also, if you enjoy our show, subscribe, share with a friend. But also, if you do feel, if you have $1, if you have 50 cents, you can go to our site, nofocusradio.com.
There you go.
And you can help us keep the lights on. If you go there, you'll find all of the, although nofocusradio.com currently comes with a invalid certificate. Don't worry about that. Just click OK, proceed, and I'll fix that. But check that out.
It's safe.
It's not web spam.
I
You're
swear
okay,
it's
folks.
not spam. But there's also a bottom area there for story ideas. You can join our Discord server. Check out the Discord server. There's a lot of fun in there. We do a lot of fun chats. Marty sends his nudes. We do it's a paid subscribers only for those. But he does send. We have a fun game going on where we slap our stickers all over cities, and you have to guess where the city is. Find them. If you take a picture of them, you
be
win.
on the show.
You get to be on the show. Also, check out Pardon the Intermission. It's the Doorman's podcast about all things entertainment
That's
and
right.
movies.
We talk about entertainment on that show.
That's
yeah,
right. So
all
check
things
that out.
entertainment.
It's with you and friend of the show,
Jason Smithberg.
Jason
Yep.
Smithberg. I was going to call him Jason Smith, but there's an extra
No, Smithberg. Yep.
Smithberg. He has 2 last names. All right, thank you guys. We appreciate it. Oh, and as always,
5 stars is the correct number of stars, folks. Remember. Thanks, Jason, for joining us.
thank you, man.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah.